Battleground is nearly upon us, everybody. Hey everyone, this is Neo Reality Entertainment. I wanted to initially do this video a day yesterday, but then when SmackDown went live and all this, I could have done it yesterday, but when SmackDown went live, like I said, I decided to go ahead and see how live SmackDown goes. In fact, you'll be expecting this to happen a lot. Inter-brand promotional pay-per-views like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, the Big Four, and then you'll be hearing more individual pay-per-views for Raw and SmackDown brands. Since rumor has it they're gonna have a pay-per-view division with SmackDown and Raw having their own respective pay-per-views, so expect that. Thanks to the draft. So, anyways, this is the beginning of the true beginning of the new era. So let's get things started. Now, it's currently unknown if this is part of the kickoff or it's going to be on the show, but Randy Orton is going to return at Battleground as part of the highlight reel hosted by Chris Jericho, talking about his upcoming match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, which now should be promoted as an interpromotional match since Brock Lesnar's on Raw and Randy Orton's on SmackDown. And I'm a little surprised Daniel Bryan picked Randy Orton because Randy Orton kind of gave him an injury once, accidentally, but still, they could still work that into the storyline. So I wonder how awkward that's going to be when they have to work together. So I don't know if this is going to be part of the kickoff, or since they haven't announced any kickoff officially, and there's the actual pay-per-view, and I really don't know about that. And since WWE reportedly wants to go beyond 3 hours with pay-per-views, or 4, when they do the bigger events, yeah, that's to be expected. So I expect this pay-per-view to go a little bit longer than your normally 3-hour pay-per-view. So let's get to Sasha Banks and her mystery partner versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke. This match has been built up kind of okay since Sasha Banks came back. It looked like it was going to be Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, Dana Brooke in the it should have been that, at least a 2-3 handicap match or a 3-on-3 match where they would decide who'd be the third woman to help out. But since they already have 2 6-man tag team matches, I think that's for the best, since they don't want to oversaturate 6-man tag team matches. So I could get that. Everyone's been speculating on who's Sasha Banks' partner, and it's been word going around over and over and over that, oh, it's Bayley, and that's wishful thinking. Sasha Banks, however, says, I don't want it to be Bayley, and everyone is believing, like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, because Bayley is too popular. And while I could understand from a logic standpoint, because last time Sasha Banks and Bayley were in the ring, she made Bayley's biggest fan break down in tears. Oh, who am I kidding? This is the main roster. They don't care about logic, especially in a developmental place. So that's off the list. So the other contender that could possibly be Sasha Banks' partner could be Nikki Bella, since she says she's going to get an MRI checkup soon in the coming weeks, a few weeks ago. So that could potentially be her. And since she's been working on a new finisher with Daniel Bryan, we could expect her to return, since it's been rumored that she'll be back around the summer. So Sasha Banks and Nikki Bella, maybe, could be, probably, hope not. Yeah, I really hope not. Versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke. And Dana Brooke has been perpetually... it just doesn't feel right for me, because Dana Brooke has been as what I would describe as not as used as much as she should be. Like, okay, they kept her work to a minimal, and when they did let her do longer matches, it was occasionally her getting the shit kicked out of, or her dominating. They didn't do a back and forth mentality. So Dana Brooke, like, this will help her. Like, the reason why they paired her with Charlotte was because Dana Brooke should learn more experience from Charlotte, which confused me, because Charlotte is from NXT and just recently got out of the main roster back last year. So I would have said Emma would have been perfect, but Emma got injured and then they had to change plans. So yeah, and then they could have done Lana Brooke versus and Nikki Bella teaming up since Brie Bella's retired, and plus that would have most likely said, "Oh, they suck," whatnot. So I'm not surprised that didn't happen. So now that that's over with, we got Becky Lynch versus Natalia, which started at Money in the Bank after their tag team match against Charlotte and Dana Brooke. After that, Natalia blindsided Becky Lynch, and now they're both drafted to SmackDown. So that's gonna be nasty, and that's what the feud has been, very nasty, because they keep coming at each other, trying to go through everybody, and that's like, okay, that's progress, but can we get any promos? Can we get any character development? Anything? I mean, like we gotten some promos from Becky Lynch and Natalia, but they've always been in the back. We don't see face to face confrontation, and because they try to kill each other every single time. So yeah, like they could have done what Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are doing, just have talks in the ring and explain their motivation. But nah. So Becky Lynch and Natalia are on SmackDown now, so we might see another match between them at SummerSlam, but that could be up in the air. This could be just a one-off for now. And Becky Lynch is most likely going to go over, including Sasha Banks and her mystery partner going over, since they're going to set up Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. Um, so there's that. Along with that, we have Miz versus Darren Young. Like, this surprised me. This match was happening. This match technically should not have happened since they built up Darren Young with this whole vignette of, we're gonna make Darren Young great again. And I'm trying to wonder, wait, when was he great before? Wait, the Nexus? But John Cena ruined that. So they can't use that as saying, let's make him great again. So he was never great to begin with. He was just okay or average at best. So it should be called Make Darren Young Great or Make Darren Young Great. Make Darren Young Great or Make Darren Young Better Than Ever. And Darren Young won this, got the opportunity to face Miz for the Intercontinental title is because he won a Battle Royal when Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin eliminated themselves. So, and Darren Young looked completely confused, and like I was thinking, like, is he confused in terms of character, or is he confused like that was not supposed to happen? I wouldn't be surprised if that was not supposed to happen because WWE has been mismanaged a lot, especially what they did with Cesaro last night at the SmackDown Live draft, where Cesaro cut that shoot promo. And then they said, oh, he's been a 9-time tag team champion. He's been around since 1999. And I'm like, you could not have screwed that up more badly than you did. There is no way you generally thought this. Unless you're trying to say he was always a WWE guy. And yet... So that's pretty much what it's been. Darren Young and The Miz, they only had like 2 weeks of build. And Bob Backlund has been trying to hog the spotlight, though that could be because he's crazy. Though at the same time, it's starting to feel like Ric Flair again. And I really hope that's not the case. So, Darren Young, can he be great or better than average? No idea. I don't think so. Like, I'm pretty sure Miz is going to go over. Like, he has Maurice with him. So don't be surprised if that happens. Now we have Rusev versus Zack Ryder. And Zack Ryder, okay, this isn't much better than the Darren Young versus Miz bout because Zack Ryder actually stepped up to Rusev. And he's been on this huge momentum wave since he won WrestleMania 32. And while he has been jobbing matches, he's been more involved than ever with the main roster and has been consistently going ahead and challenging champions, challenging guys to matches, trying to stand up for himself. Like, this could start a huge redemption program they could do with him since he was screwed over last time because of management and John Cena. And do not say John Cena had nothing to do with it because Zack Ryder did say in the Talk is Jericho podcast that they put Cena with him just to ruin him. Which begs the question, why didn't Cena just speak up for Ryder and say, no, we're not doing that. That's just stupid. But this is John Cena. He'll do what he's told, or at least politic his way to ruining people, like Triple H tried to do to Eugene. Seriously, what was the point of that feud? So, Rusev has been on a momentum streak with his monster phase he's going through with Lana. And ever since he won the U.S. title and has been defeating people left and right. Like, originally it was said this was going to be Rusev versus Titus, because reportedly Titus was going to win at July 4th Raw, and then they would lose. Then he would drop the belt to Rusev at Battleground. I'm glad that didn't happen, because if it did, I would have been a little bit pissed off, because then I'd be like, okay, you're just pandering now. And like that's just pandering to the 4th of July patriotism. Patriotism, F yeah! So, I don't know about that, so I'm glad they didn't do that. At least they went with the villain winning the feud, since that's seriously needed nowadays. So, Zack Ryder, he's also been kind of in a feud with Sheamus for a bit. Like, ever since he started getting back momentum after being Sheamus, Sheamus has been attacking him left and right. So you could make the argument it's also involving Sheamus to a degree, so they could have made this a triple threat match. And it's also confusing for me because, well, Sheamus and Rusev shouldn't really be getting along technically, because Rusev and them left on bad terms when the League of Nations disbanded, which was the most pointless faction in the history of wrestling, in my opinion, but that's a completely different topic altogether. Okay, now we get to the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of the card. We get Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they've been at war with each other, like I've said in previous videos, and it's hard to really talk about this without repeating everything on loop again, so screwed over at Money the... Let's see, fought at WrestleMania, Sami Zayn cost him the Intercontinental title. Fought at Money in the Bank, Sami Zayn cost him for the Intercontinental title, and Kevin Owens cost him the Intercontinental title and the Money in the Bank contract. So, vice versa, they're destroying each other and what they have described as destroying their careers. And now they're both drafted to Raw, so something tells me this feud's not going to end, even though it should take a break after this. Because WWE likes to run things to the ground. So don't be surprised if Enzo Amore and Big Cass goes ahead and gets screwed over too. But Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been playing the victim card, saying, "Oh, I'm doing this for my family," and the highlight of it was him and Sami agreeing on something for once, where they kicked Chris Jericho in the face. Though that does bring up the fact that the super kick has been horribly overexposed, but that's a completely different topic altogether. Seriously, like, remember when it was awesome when they built up the super kick and you got it, and now it's just super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick. So, on a dime, so it's lost its value. So, there's that, and now Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they've become so embroiled with this war with each other that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were hoping they get drafted first before the other, so that was to be expected. Not really surprised, because Sami Zayn said he wished for it, and then Kevin Owens is on a huge temper tantrum. And they went ahead and been brawling left and right, and then Kane comes out and chokeslam both of them on SmackDown Live, so I'm trying to wonder what was the whole point of that? I mean, like, was it to make Kane look good? Because there was no point in that. If Kane's going to be involved in this match, which I seriously hope is not the case, and I'm really seriously hoping it, and thank God it's not, Sami Zayn should go over, but since they're both drafted to Raw, something tells me Kevin Owens is going to go over, then Sami Zayn's going to pick up the win at SummerSlam in a loser leaves Raw match, which should be the case. And then one of them moves to SmackDown. Most likely Kevin Owens, because this feud needs a break eventually. They can't keep doing this. Whereas in NXT, they gave time and effort and actually gave a huge rest stop so they could build things up. And it didn't feel overexposed. Now we have the New Day, who are now on Raw, versus now the divided Wyatt family, since Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan are on SmackDown and Braun Strowman's on Raw. Okay, this was personally my favorite build-up, the second favorite build-up I had, mostly because it's been showing that the New Day might be falling apart soon. Kofi Kingston and Big E have been trying to be the John Cena's of the group, trying to install humor into this. Xavier Woods, however, is being the John Cena he is the John Cena that John Cena should have been during the whole feud with the Wyatt family, where instead of doing jokes and humor, Bray Wyatt shrugs it off. Uh, John Cena is actually Xavier Woods is actually afraid of Bray Wyatt and is enticed by his charisma because everything Bray Wyatt has done has so far hypnotized Xavier Woods, especially on SmackDown when Bray Wyatt was going on his knees and telling him to strike him down or something like that. And then got into his fire pose. He scared Xavier Woods. Like I was like, oh god, this is so interesting. Like this is the most interesting the New Day have been since they turned face. They got really stale, and I was really looking forward to this. This has been the most interesting the New Day have been. And it's made the Wyatt family look dangerous again. I actually felt like they were being dangerous again. You know, something that they haven't been for the past maybe 2 years. Maybe since the Roman Reigns feud, but that's not really saying much. So, yeah. Then they did this compound angle, and like everyone was saying, it's the final deletion. And let's see, the reason why I never made a video about that is because I don't watch TNA that much anymore. But when I heard about this, I did look it up, and I did watch the video of it, and it was so bad that it was actually funny. It was so good that it was so bad it was so funny. That was the mentality I was getting because Matt Hardy was being so broken, and Jeff Hardy was trying to make it serious, but just failed miserably. It just made everything look funny, especially using technology that is definitely not real. Like, we have not created holographic projections, as far as I know. So, yeah, and now the New Day, it seems something big's going to happen at Battleground. The New Day and the Wyatt family, they're going to go at it. I can't wait for that. So, I'm really looking forward to this match, and I can't wait. I'm thinking that the New Day is going to go over or the Wyatt family. It's hard to tell at this point, but it looks like. But rumor has been swirling around that one of the New Day members might turn heel, which could be a little odd because they're all on Raw. Though that would make sense also because they're all the tag team champions right now. And the Wyatt family is now divided once more. We don't know what happens to Luke Harper since he wasn't part of the draft, since he's still injured. So we don't know what's going to happen there. Braun Strowman, no idea where he's going to go, though he might get lost in the shuffle since he really needs Bray Wyatt to be his voice. Like, Braun Strowman can look menacing and sound menacing, but Bray Wyatt's really his voice. And they should really play the angle of Braun Strowman being an unrestrained monster since Bray Wyatt is no longer able to control him since they're now on separate brands. But that's wistful thinking, and WWE has been known to stomp on your dreams. Now we get to the club versus John Cena and, I'm gonna be honest, John Cena and his bitches, aka Enzo Amore and Big Cass, because that's what I'm getting the radar with, because this is the same thing they did with the Wyatt family feud. John Cena uses the Usos to fight the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family lose. Then John Cena goes in and casts them aside because fuck that. And while I will admit Enzo and Cass are getting a big rub out of this because they're going to work with John Cena and the club in the main event feud, but it also comes across as they're going to be leached off of John Cena like all the time. And John Cena is being a hypocrite because he goes there and says, no, it's time to be serious and whatnot. And I'm thinking, you have never been serious. Name one time you've actually been serious that did not involve you pulling a joke out of your ass. And of course, I can think of several. The Wyatt family feud. Let's see. To a degree, the Kevin Owens feud. Let's see. What feuds did you do where you acted like a comedian? Oh, those were the two infamous ones. Though that second one was the cancer incident, but we will never ever talk about that ever again. So, yeah, and the club had been doing so great, and now they're going to break up since AJ Styles is on SmackDown and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are on Raw. So the club was completely pointless. I'm like, Finn Balor is on Raw now. In case you didn't watch SmackDown Live and have not been on the internet, which means I congratulate you on awakening from your recent coma. Quote the film brain, 20 something, since film brain has been known to say that. So, so Balor Club might be happening, though of course Balor Club did no longer get trademarked. So the club and John Cena versus Enzo Amore Big Cass. Um, I'm expecting John Cena's team to go over, but at the same time, there have been rumors speculating that AJ Styles might be the victor of the feud, so it might pull a swerve and have AJ Styles go over John Cena throughout the entire feud, which would be a breath of fresh air. So there's that. And Enzo and Cass get a big rub out of this feud since they get to be involved, and I get the feeling they're going to continue their feud with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson since they're on Raw as well. And I don't know where they're going to do afterwards. Like, are they going to feud the tag team champions? Is Enzo and Cass going to win the tag team titles? Like, they might do that. Triple threat tag team match? Maybe. Who knows? But we'll find out in the coming weeks. Now we have the main event. The dream match. The match to end all matches. The successor, I believe, to the Chris Benoit, to Triple H and Shawn Michaels feud. At WrestleMania 20, the Shield triple threat. Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. The Dude versus the Guy versus the Man. The Lunatic versus the Powerhouse versus the Architect. It's that intense, man. I can't wait for this. There's like two problems I have. One, Roman Reigns got suspended because of the wellness policy, though, like I've said, he needs to own up to it, which he has. And the other problem is, this is not WrestleMania! Why is this not WrestleMania? This was obviously WrestleMania main event worthy, and they're throwing it on C-level pay-per-views. That is so unfair. But this has been a very interesting feud since they had to build this matchup without Roman Reigns. After Money in the Bank, Roman Reigns comes out, congratulates Dean Ambrose, and then the audience chant, "You can't wrestle," despite the fact that he clearly can after months and months of proving us wrong. But this is the fans, and this is next to impossible. So Roman Reigns goes ahead, shuts them up by telling them, to all the dudes that are chanting that I can't wrestle, calm down, relax, take a sip of your beer, and shut your mouths. Which I was thinking, okay, that was the most badass line he said in the last several months. Like, I will admit, the Guy promo has kind of gotten annoying because he says it so many times, and he doesn't seem really that into saying that. But that was the most authentic I felt from Roman Reigns, in regards to promo at least. Seth Rollins has been preaching and preaching and preaching. It's time to take him out of the triple threat match and make this a singles match. And considering that they gave it away on Raw and SmackDown, they can't do that anymore. And Seth Rollins already got his wish, so this is his third chance. Dean Ambrose has been killing it as the champion for the past month and has been doing exceptionally well. Roman Reigns is scheduled to return later this week, and then he returns officially at Battleground, where it's currently unknown what's going to happen in terms of Roman Reigns. Like, rumor has been speculating that with Roman Reigns in the doghouse and Dean Ambrose being considered a transitional champion, Seth Rollins is going to win the world title, and then it's going to kick off Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins one more time. And now word's been going around that they're either going to do the redemption storyline or turn Roman Reigns heel, like I've said in previous videos. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know Seth Rollins is most likely going to walk away with the title, and Roman Reigns might cross the dark side, maybe not. And Dean Ambrose, he's gonna be world champion on SmackDown, maybe, since it got reported just a few minutes ago at the time of this video that there will not be a second world title. which sucks because I really wanted to see the big gold belt return, and especially how they gave subtle hints to it, calling it the WWE Championship and not the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So, yeah. The highlight of this build is specifically Seth Rollins' Rollins Report. That was the most funniest. It's also very true of what the media likes to do nowadays. Change things up, try to warp it into their own image, and it was just so hilarious. Like, yeah, that was the best thing I've signed up from this feud, because Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, they argue back and forth like a lover's quarrel to me. Like, even the commentators talked about it on SmackDown, which is sad, because if they're highlighting that there's a problem with this feud, then WWE's clearly lazy, saying, we could fix it, but we can't. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns has been on the receiving end of hate from the internet, saying, oh, I told you that guy sucked. Oh, I hope he gets a drug overdose. Oh, I got this. I hope he does do this. I hope he doesn't make it. And I'm talking about in the drug overdose, that's actually true. Specifically, Sabu started this, and now half of people who follow Sabu said, yes, I hope that happens, and the other half were like, dude, you have lost my respect, which is true on my end. So, clearly they have not learned a lesson from my WrestleMania 32 video during its build, so there's that. And also, last but not least, with this feud going on, I'm expecting this match to be the true successor to Benoit, to Shawn Michaels, to Triple H's triple threat match at WrestleMania 20. I can't wait for this match. I've been waiting for this match for years and years. This is an accumulation of everything the Shield has done. I could go on and on for the Shield triple threat match, since they've been building this up since the Shield first broke up. You could also make the argument it's been building up since they got together, because it's kind of inevitable. But it's been building up since 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014. And I cannot wait for this match. They've been in numerous singles matches together, and they were in a Fatal 4-Way match where they teased a Shield reunion, which was awesome. But now we're finally getting this triple threat match, and they were hinting that they were probably going to change it with adding John Cena and AJ Styles, but I was glad they didn't. So there's that. And now we're going to get this triple threat match. I can't wait for this match, and really the most look forward matches for this is the New Day versus the Wyatt family, John Cena and his bitches versus the Club, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, Dean Ambrose, and the Shield triple threat match. So I can't wait what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for Battleground this Sunday. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. So if you like, comment, subscribe, and donate, stay tuned for more.